Hollywood may shine bright on the outside, but behind the glitz, the red carpets, and million-dollar smiles lies a much darker truth. For every star who rises to fame, there are others whose lives spiral into scandal, crime, and courtroom drama. These aren't just tabloid rumors. Some of the most recognizable names in showbiz have found themselves trading designer suits for prison jumpsuits. Their glamorous lives turned into cautionary tales as the spotlight dimmed and the cold reality of justice set in. In this video, we're counting down Hollywood stars who went from red carpet royalty to serving time behind bars, a chilling reminder that in Tinseltown, fame always comes with a price. Danny Masterson rose to fame as the cool, rebellious Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show and later starred in Men, At Work, and The Ranch. With a loyal fan base and a promising career, he was a familiar face on television in the early 2000s and even reunited with Ashton Kutcher on screen. But behind his Hollywood success, dark accusations were waiting to surface. In 2017, Masterson was accused by 3 women of harassing them between 2001 and 2003 while they were drunk at his home. Although he denied all charges, he was eventually charged with 3 felony counts. After a retrial in 2023 resulted in his conviction on 2 counts. He was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison, with parole after 25 years. Adding to the controversy is Masterson's ties to the Church of Scientology. The victims, who are also former members, claim that the church pressured them to stay silent. Although the church denies this, the scandal has cast a long shadow. Masterson is currently serving time in a California prison, a notable fall from grace as a comedy star. Ryan Grantham was once considered one of Hollywood's most promising young talents, a fresh face with an undeniable on-screen presence. He first captured audiences' hearts as Rodney James in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, 2010, and went on to appear in acclaimed projects like The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and the hit series Riverdale. With more than 30 roles under his belt before the age of 21, it seemed like the sky was the limit. But behind the scenes, Ryan was battling demons few had ever seen. In a shocking and heartbreaking twist, Ryan's life took a devastating turn when, at just 21, he was involved in the tragic death of his mother at their home in British Columbia. Shocked and overwhelmed, Ryan later turned himself in. During his trial, expert testimony revealed that he had been suffering from major depressive disorder and other serious mental health issues. He has taken full responsibility for his actions, expressed deep remorse, and vowed to work toward change. Currently serving his sentence, Ryan Grantham will be eligible for parole after completing the mandatory minimum term. His story is more than just a headline. It's a sobering reminder of the enormous mental toll that fame and pressure can take on young actors. It highlights the urgent need for mental health support in the entertainment industry, where behind the scenes, struggles can sometimes lead to unimaginable consequences. Joe Sun's life was once the stuff of Hollywood success stories. Born in South Korea and raised in the United States, he entered the world of martial arts, competing at UFC 3 in 1994. While his MMA career didn't take off, he found a niche in low-budget action films, often playing tough villains. His most memorable role came in 1997 as Random Task, the quirky henchman in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, a role that brought him short-lived fame. But behind the scenes, a much darker story was unfolding. In 2008, Sun was arrested for vandalizing his roommate's car, a seemingly minor crime that led to a major investigation. A DNA test linked him to a horrific attack on Christmas Eve, 1990. He was convicted of torture and sentenced to life in prison, shocking fans who had once laughed at his on-screen antics. Just a month into his prison sentence, the darkness deepened. Joe's son murdered a fellow inmate, serving an additional 27 years for manslaughter. Now serving a life sentence, his story is a grim reminder of how quickly fame can turn to infamy when a man's true nature is finally revealed. Michael Jace was once a rising star in Hollywood, best known for his role as cop Julian Lowy on FX's The Shield, and for his appearances in acclaimed films like Forrest Gump and Boogie Nights. With a strong on-screen presence and growing recognition, Jace seemed to have a promising future ahead of him. But in 2014, everything changed in the blink of an eye, not because of a scandal or a career misstep, but because of a heartbreaking act that not only ruined his life, but the lives of those closest to him. One tragic night in Hyde Park, Los Angeles, Jace lost control. In a moment of rage and emotional breakdown, he fatally shot his wife, April Jace, a beloved mother, educator, and talented athlete. The horror of that moment was magnified by the presence of their two young sons, who witnessed the unthinkable. At trial, witnesses cited Jace's emotional instability and alcohol use as contributing factors. The jury found him guilty of second degree and sentenced him to 40 years to life in prison. In court, Michael Jace broke down in remorse, offering no excuses for his actions, only an apology dripping with regret. Today, he serves time in a California state prison, a fallen actor whose story has become a painful reminder of how unchecked anger and split-second decisions can destroy lives, careers, and families forever. Amy Locane was once a bright star in Hollywood's rising class of the 1990s. She gained fame for her role alongside Johnny Depp in Cry Baby and earned critical praise for Blue Sky, which brought her a Young Artist Award nomination. She also appeared in the popular TV series Melrose Place, making her a familiar face on screens across America. But her life took a tragic turn on June 27, 2010, when she was involved in a fatal car crash while driving under the influence. Traveling over 50 mph above the speed limit, Amy struck the car of Fred Seaman, killing his wife Helene. Tests revealed her blood alcohol level was well above the legal limit, and she was later convicted of second-degree manslaughter and assault by auto. Initially sentenced to 3 years, her punishment was later extended to 8 years after multiple court reviews. She is currently serving her sentence at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility in New Jersey, with a parole review scheduled for December 20, 2024. Amy's fall from fame is a sobering reminder of how one reckless decision can forever alter the lives of many. Zach Avery, born Zachary Horowitz, once seemed to be living the Hollywood dream, handsome, successful, and climbing the ranks of stardom. But behind the scenes, he was orchestrating one of the most shocking scams in entertainment history. Seen as a rising mogul, Horowitz claimed to have lucrative deals to distribute HBO and Netflix movies around the world. He lured investors with promises of high returns and flashy deals, but it was all smoke and mirrors. In reality, the movies he claimed to license, like The Devil Below and You're Not Alone, were either fake or misrepresented. Starting in 2015, Horowitz spun a web of lies, creating fake distribution reports for 52 movies and defrauding more than 250 investors through his company, one in Mem Capital. The scam netted him more than $650 million, much of which he used to fund a lavish lifestyle of luxury homes, private jets, and celebrity status. As the truth came out, so did his world. The FBI got involved, and in 2022, Horowitz was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. He was also ordered to pay $230 million in restitution. Zach Avery's downfall is a chilling reminder that in Hollywood, glitz and glamour can sometimes mask the darkest lies, and that in an industry built on illusion, integrity is more important than ever. Timothy Zickaher, known to millions as one of the daring drivers on the hit reality series Ice Road Truckers, made headlines for all the wrong reasons when his off-screen life took a dark and disturbing turn. The man once celebrated for navigating frozen highways with nerves of steel was suddenly thrust into a real-life legal nightmare that shocked fans across the country. The scandal began with what seemed like a simple financial dispute. Zicker accused a woman of overdrawing his account and arranged to meet with her to resolve the issue. But things spiraled quickly out of control. According to reports, Zicker became aggressive, allegedly holding the woman against her will and demanding information. In a desperate attempt to escape, she gave him a fake phone number that actually belonged to the police. When Zicker called the number and made threats, law enforcement immediately traced the call and swooped in to arrest him before the situation escalated further. Following a detailed investigation, Zicker admitted to the charges and was convicted. His dramatic fall from reality TV fame to criminal conviction is a sobering reminder that no amount of celebrity can excuse criminal behavior. The case highlights the importance of ethics, accountability, and personal responsibility on or off camera. Jen Shah, the glamorous and outspoken star of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, was once known for her lavish lifestyle, fierce attitude, and unapologetic confidence. But in March 2021, her world came crashing down when she was caught in a nationwide scam that shocked fans and fellow cast members alike. Federal prosecutors have accused Jen and her assistant of running a telemarketing scheme that targeted vulnerable seniors across the country. Victims were promised services they never received while their life savings were depleted. One elderly woman, Tricia, 75, lost more than $47,000. Another victim, veteran Ralph Hicks, was defrauded of more than $100,000, and his family believes the emotional toll played a role in his death. Text messages later revealed Jen taunting her victims, making the scandal even more disturbing. Although she initially denied the charges, Jen ultimately pleaded guilty in July 2022 and was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. She is currently serving her sentence at Bryan Federal Prison in Texas and will not be eligible for parole until 2028. Jen Shah's tragic downfall is a stark reminder that fame does not make you invulnerable, and that taking advantage of those who are most vulnerable can have serious consequences. Jared Fogle is known as the unlikely face of the health transformation, a regular guy who lost over 200 pounds by eating Subway sandwiches. From 2000 to 2015, he was a national spokesperson, appearing in commercials, talk shows, and even launching the Jared Foundation to fight childhood obesity. But behind that glamorous image was a disturbing secret that would soon destroy everything. In a shocking twist, federal authorities launched an investigation into his nonprofit and uncovered horrifying evidence. Fogle was charged with possession and distribution of illegal materials, among other crimes. The revelations shocked the public and shattered the healthy brand he had built over more than a decade. He eventually pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in federal prison. Currently serving his sentence at the Englewood Federal Correctional Institution, Fogle will not be eligible for parole until 2029. His story is a chilling reminder that fame and influence come with great responsibility, and that when that trust is violated, the consequences can be both severe and long-lasting. It also underscores the urgent need for oversight in nonprofits and transparency from public figures entrusted with a platform. Todd and Julie Chrisley, the glamorous stars of Chrisley Knows Best, became household names thanks to their picture-perfect Southern charm, extravagant lifestyle, and no-nonsense parenting style. But behind the designer clothes and reality TV smiles, a financial house of cards was crumbling, and the truth was far more dramatic than any episode of their hit show. In August 2019, the couple was hit with a storm of federal charges, including bank fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy. Prosecutors revealed that the Chrisleys had falsified documents to secure over $30 million in loans, all while hiding more than $1 million in income from their own reality series. They also allegedly evaded nearly $2 million in taxes, all in an effort to maintain their luxurious image. After a gripping 3-week trial, the verdict was clear. Todd was sentenced to 12 years behind bars, and Julie received a 7-year sentence. Todd is currently serving time at Pensacola Federal Correctional Institution in Florida, while Julie is imprisoned at Mariana Federal Correctional Institution. Their dramatic fall from grace serves as a powerful reminder that no amount of fame or wealth can shield you from the law. In the end, the Chrisley story isn't just about luxury and lies, it's a cautionary tale about accountability, integrity, and the high price of living beyond your means. Jerry Harris, the breakout star of Netflix's hit docuseries Cheer, captured hearts across the nation with his infectious energy, inspiring spirit, and standout performances as part of the Navarro College Bulldogs cheer squad. His meteoric rise to fame led to national media appearances, including a memorable interview on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, where he became a symbol of positivity and perseverance. But in a shocking turn of events that all came crashing down in September 2020, at just 19 years old, Harris was accused of serious misconduct that sent shockwaves through the public and entertainment industry alike. The allegations triggered a federal investigation, and what followed was a dramatic fall from grace that brought his once promising career to a sudden halt. Today, Jerry Harris is serving a sentence in a federal correctional facility, a stark contrast to the bright lights and fame he once enjoyed. His story serves as a sobering reminder that personal responsibility, ethics, and accountability are non-negotiable, especially in the spotlight. No matter how high someone rises, the consequences of poor choices can be swift, severe, and permanent. Darren Sharper was once considered one of the top safeties in the NFL. Over a 14-year career, he played for the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and New Orleans Saints. He earned 5 Pro Bowl selections, 2 All-Pro honors, and was a key figure in helping the Saints win the Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina. Sharper's athleticism and leadership made him a fan favorite and a respected name in professional football. However, his reputation came crashing down in 2014 when multiple women across several cities, including West Hollywood and Las Vegas, accused him of sexual misconduct. The allegations were both shocking and disturbing, triggering a major investigation and widespread media attention. Fans were stunned as the once celebrated star became the focus of a serious and deeply troubling scandal. In 2016, Sharper was sentenced to a lengthy prison term after being convicted on multiple charges. His story became a powerful example of how fame and success do not excuse criminal behavior. Darren Sharper's fall from grace is a harsh reminder of the importance of ethics, accountability, and respect on and off the field. His case remains one of the most sobering scandals in NFL history. Gary Glitter rose to international stardom during the 1970s and 1980s, becoming one of the most recognizable faces of glam rock. With electrifying performances and hit singles that dominated the charts, he carved out a legacy as a music icon of his era. His energetic stage presence and larger-than-life persona made him a staple of pop culture during that time. However, his fame was later overshadowed by serious legal troubles. In 2015, Glitter was sentenced to 16 years in prison in the UK after being found guilty of multiple charges related to misconduct. Though he was granted early release in February 2023, he quickly violated the terms of his parole, leading to his return to prison. He is now expected to remain incarcerated until around 2031. Glitter's fall from grace has sparked renewed conversations about accountability in the entertainment industry. His case is a powerful reminder that no amount of fame or success can shield someone from facing the consequences of their actions. It also highlights the importance of ethics, responsibility, and the need for higher standards among public figures. Schuyler DeLeon, formerly known as John Julius Jacobson Jr., once had a brush with fame as a child actor, even appearing briefly in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. But behind the scenes, his early life was marked by hardship. Born in California in 1979, he endured a troubled childhood, including reported abuse, and changed his name more than once in an effort to start fresh. After a short stint in the U.S. Navy cut short due to unauthorized absences, Schuyler tried to build a new life, eventually marrying and starting a family. But financial stress soon pushed Schuyler and his wife down a darker path. What began as struggles to make ends meet escalated into a string of criminal activities. Things took a tragic turn when they became involved in a violent robbery. Authorities say the couple lured a yacht owner under false pretenses, eventually committing a brutal act at sea. Although the victim's body was not immediately recovered, the chilling testimony of an accomplice helped prosecutors piece together what happened, ultimately leading to Schuyler's arrest and conviction. Schuyler DeLeon's story is a sobering example of how unresolved trauma and poor choices can spiral into life-altering consequences. It also underscores the importance of moral values, personal responsibility, and the critical need for mental health support, especially for those trying to rebuild after early adversity. Kane Walker, a 27-year-old rapper and actor, was sentenced to 50 years to life in Los Angeles after being convicted in a high-profile case involving multiple victims. Although he was acquitted of some charges, he must register as a sex offender for life, and his legal team is pursuing an appeal. Authorities say Walker used social media to connect with young aspiring models and took advantage of their trust. One of the victims, Sydney Stanford, has spoken out, calling for justice and emphasizing the importance of having ethical legal representation. The court described Walker's actions as calculated and without prior relationship with the victims. The case has drawn national attention and sparked broader discussions about online safety and accountability. The case serves as a stark reminder of how influence can be abused and why legal and ethical boundaries must be respected in both the entertainment world and society at large. Shannon Richardson, an actress known for small roles in hit shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries, shocked the nation in 2013 when she became the center of a bizarre and disturbing federal case. Authorities say Richardson mailed toxic letters to several prominent figures, including former President Barack Obama and then New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, triggering a swift response from national security officials. What began as a shocking mystery quickly unraveled into a personal drama. Richardson initially tried to frame her estranged husband, claiming he was responsible for the dangerous mailings. But after an intense FBI investigation, the evidence told a different story, one that pointed directly to her. Prosecutors revealed that the act was rooted in personal turmoil, including a bitter family dispute and emotional instability. At the end, Shannon Richardson was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison for sending a harmful substance with the intent to cause harm. Her story became a headline-grabbing cautionary tale not just for those in the entertainment industry, but for everyone. It serves as a powerful reminder across that personal responsibility and respect for the law are non-negotiable, especially in a world where one reckless act can ripple an entire nation. War Machine, born John Copenhaver, was once a rising star in the world of mixed martial arts. From 2004 to 2013, he built an impressive record with 14 victories, 8 of them by knockout, while competing in top-tier promotions like the UFC Bellator and The Ultimate Fighter. Known for his aggressive style inside the cage, he quickly became a recognizable name in the sport. But in 2014, his career and his life took a devastating turn. A violent incident involving his ex-girlfriend and another individual led to a firestorm of public outrage and legal consequences. Authorities charged him with 31 serious offenses, and the case shocked both fans and fellow athletes alike. The trial revealed a pattern of troubling behavior that ultimately resulted in a life sentence with no possibility of parole until at least 2033. War Machine's downfall became a sobering example of how fame and talent can be overshadowed by personal choices. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of self-control, respect, and responsibility, not just in sports, but in everyday life. Chris Wu, a former member of the K-pop group EXO, successfully transitioned into a solo career, gaining widespread recognition across both China and Hollywood. He starred in high-profile films like XX, Return of Xander Cage, and Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, becoming a global figure in music and film with fans around the world. But in July 2021, his career took a serious hit when allegations involving multiple women in Beijing came to light. Chinese authorities launched a formal investigation, and in November 2022, the Chaoyang District Court issued a verdict according to local law. The court stressed the importance of upholding legal standards and protecting the well-being of all individuals, particularly in high-profile industries like entertainment. Chris Wu's case became a major moment in both Chinese and international media, serving as a reminder that fame does not place anyone above the law. It also reinforced the importance of integrity, personal responsibility, and ethical conduct for public figures in the global spotlight. Harvey Weinstein, once one of the most powerful figures in Hollywood, left a major mark on the film industry as the co-founder of Miramax. He helped produce some of the most iconic movies of the modern era, including Pulp Fiction, Good Will Hunting, and Shakespeare in Love, the latter earning him an Academy Award and industry-wide acclaim. For years, he was seen as a kingmaker in Hollywood until everything changed. In 2017, investigative reports from the New York Times and The New Yorker revealed a troubling pattern of misconduct spanning decades. Dozens of women, many of them high-profile actresses, came forward with deeply disturbing accounts, sparking a global reckoning in the entertainment world. The case became a cornerstone of the Me Too movement as more and more voices were heard and believed. Weinstein was later tried and convicted in New York, receiving a 23-year prison sentence. In 2023, he was sentenced to an additional 16 years in Los Angeles following further convictions. Charges in the UK have also been approved. Once a celebrated name in cinema, Weinstein is now serving time and has become a symbol of how even the most powerful must answer for their actions. His downfall marked a turning point for accountability in the film industry. Joe Exotic, also known as the Tiger King, became a well-known figure in the exotic animal world through his zoo in Oklahoma. With his love for big cats and bold personality, he quickly gained attention nationwide. His flashy style and outspoken nature made him a media magnet. Aside from his animal career, Joe made headlines by running for U.S. president in 2016 and governor of Oklahoma in 2018. Though unsuccessful, his campaigns highlighted his desire for public influence. However, in 2019, his life took a dark turn when he was convicted on multiple charges, including animal mistreatment and a murder-for-hire plot involving his rival, Carol Baskin. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison. The Netflix documentary Tiger King brought his story to global fame, exposing the chaos behind the scenes. Joe Exotic's rise and fall is a reminder of how fame and ambition can spiral out of control when ethics and the law are ignored. Toby Willis, the father of the musical Willis family, rose to fame through appearances on popular shows like America's Got Talent and TLC's reality series. With their wholesome image and musical talent, the family quickly became a favorite in American households. However, everything changed when a legal investigation involving Toby emerged in Tennessee. As the case unfolded, the family's television show was pulled from the air. Toby Willis was later arrested and sentenced according to state law, marking a dramatic fall from grace. His story serves as a powerful reminder that no level of fame can excuse unethical behavior. In the entertainment industry and in life, accountability matters. Actions have consequences, and maintaining integrity is essential, no matter how public your platform may be. Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records, was a towering force in the West Coast hip-hop scene during the 1990s. Known for his powerful presence in the industry, Knight helped launch the careers of rap legends and built one of the most influential music empires of the era. But alongside his success came controversy. Knight's name became linked to multiple legal troubles over the years, with a reputation often tied to intimidation and violence. In a highly publicized incident on the set of Straight Outta Compton, one man lost his life and another was injured, an event that would lead to serious legal consequences. In 2018, Suge Knight was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 28 years in prison. His story stands as a stark reminder that even the most powerful figures in entertainment are not immune to the consequences of their actions. In a world where fame and fortune collide with real-life decisions, accountability remains essential. Drew Drexel, once hailed as a top competitor on American Ninja Warrior, saw his career come to a sudden halt after being charged with serious federal offenses. He had gained national fame for his athletic talent and was even crowned champion. But everything changed when the investigation became public. Authorities revealed that the case involved inappropriate conduct with a minor whom Drexel allegedly met at a fan event. The situation escalated when evidence was found linking him to further misconduct. He was later arrested and is currently being held in a federal detention center in Philadelphia. Drexel's downfall is a reminder that fame comes with responsibility. As a public figure admired by many, especially young fans, his actions had far-reaching consequences. The case highlights the importance of integrity, accountability, and maintaining trust when in the public spotlight. So, we've just explored the stories of Hollywood stars whose careers and, in some cases, lives were tragically derailed by serious mistakes. These stories serve as powerful reminders of the importance of ethics, personal responsibility, and the consequences of choices made in the spotlight. Thank you for watching. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. See you in the next video.